second.
This is the Band Podcast with Malcolm Springer.
Here we go. Jason Schrick. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm good.
Well, I think the funniest thing about the past couple of days that I can say is the fact that Jeff Hansen's texting us, and we're sitting right beside each other, texting him back
On the couch. Yeah.
on the couch watching the football game.
Yeah.
Hey, who won the game?
The Eagles did. They came back. I think they scored another touchdown, like in the
Hey
fourth.
man, good job, Philly. Good job.
Yeah, they scored another touchdown in the fourth.
We love you in baseball or in football, but not in baseball.
Yeah, I don't even want to. The Phillies can eat my ass. Phillies. The hell's going on?
Well, I think what happened was we got ahead of ourselves on the St. Louis part, because I mean the Cards they got ahead of themselves,
I don't know if that's the case. I just think the manager made some shitty ass decisions.
That's what I mean.
Inning. Yeah.
Well, some bad coaching decisions.
Well, the guy's never been in the playoffs before.
Right.
I mean, he's got a team. He had guys hurt all year. He had a bunch of young guys come up. He did a great job, but just some bonehead decisions. I mean, that's why I've always said they should hire me. But,
Well, when are you thinking about taking over the St. Louis Cardinals?
I mean, I could start next year if they give me. I don't even do that big of a salary.
Really, they don't get it.
Oh, they give me. I'll take $100,000. I'll be good. I'll coach that team. I'm on the baseball field every day.
Dude, you wouldn't do it. $100,000.
I would the first year, and then I find all those guys are probably assholes and ask for about 10 times that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably what happened.
They pay me like, who the hell is this guy? So, man, I want to talk about your production company and more management company. I don't know. What do you call yourselves? Just a freaking music team?
Well, I mean, I consider us
Music
more of
team?
an artist development.
Okay, yeah.
Would probably be the best. We're not a record label. I'll tell you what, that drives me nuts when people have companies and they say we're a record label.
No, God,
No,
me
you're
too.
not. You're not a record label.
I'm going to have a cigar.
Okay, I'm gonna start with a Parliament Light.
You go ahead.
So
I think how many people do you have working for you at your company?
currently there's 8.
Really?
Yep, 8 people.
Okay.
You've got a couple ladies that do booking specifically. Then we've got some junior managers that manage some of our artists.
Okay.
We've got a guy that does all our live shows, puts the production together, makes sure all the hospitality, set times, all that's taken care of. All the bands are staying online when we have shows. We got people that work on social media and stuff. We got a little bit of everything. That way we can either guide, direct, or put an artist in a good spot
Right.
to get to where they need to go.
Well, and I'm asking you questions, obviously, that I know, but,
Yeah, of
but I
course.
want everybody out there to hear about what you do. And so you help book bands too, don't you?
We do. Actually, it's funny you say that because we'll have sometimes bands reach out to us and be like, hey, can you book us? I'm like, man, we're not like an agency. And I'm the kind of person, if I bring a band in, I want to be involved in more than just booking.
Right.
I mean, we can reach out to venues like any other guy on the street can. Now, we have some relationships with a good number of venues, but, I mean, that's kind of, we're always looking to try to get our artists to an actual agent. I mean, that's the end goal.
That's kind of been your trip over here to Nashville this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, just talk to people, try to get our artists in front of the right people to bring them on. And, right now, everybody's touring and everybody's so busy that it's a little harder than it was before COVID because they're trying to make up all that money they lost over the last 2 years.
Right.
That's why you see bands like Everclear on tour and Tonic. I mean, these bands you haven't seen play for years. So,
And Lit.
yeah, I mean,
It was just in here this weekend.
yeah, exactly. And I wonder if some of those agents went back to some of those older artists and said, hey, we'll take a less cut if you'll go out and do some shows to recoup some of that money.
I don't know. You know who I was going to call this morning, and I completely forgot about it, is Andrew Goodfriend.
Over at TKO.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. And I'm going to get him on here. Man, I have been told that guy has single-handedly kept booking going for rock bands, I mean, he really has had a big part of keeping things going.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he really has. And I didn't realize, I did some research on him because I called him about getting Struggle Jennings, on here. And of course, sooner or later I'll get Struggle on here, but I just hadn't had time to reach out to him. But I'm trying to figure out where the TKO thing really freaking, I mean, I didn't know if you were talking to him about booking any bands or.
Well, I actually met him at the AIBA conference here in Nashville about 2.5 years. I think it was 2.5 years ago. We talked a little bit about one of our bands, but I really haven't had much contact with him since because there's really wasn't a need for an agent for a while.
Right.
I mean, even now with how many venues have closed since all that happened, since the COVID epidemic,
Whatever it was.
you know, there's this sense that a lot of spots aren't even doing stuff during the week anymore because they're
Right.
just afraid to take the gamble on guarantees. Right. So those venues are doing Friday, Saturdays, and it's hard to put an artist on the road for a long period of time if you can't find venues that are booking on a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Tuesday, or a Sunday, because Friday, Saturday shows, you can only send them so far out before they start to lose money because the travel's so expensive.
Wow. Yeah. Man, that's why I'm not in the management field. I never have been, because you know what? That's why I have a manager myself.
Yeah.
Somebody had try to say something nasty about me on some forum one time and said, Malcolm Springer couldn't manage his own ass. Well, you got that right.
Hey, facts, baby.
And you know what? I don't care to manage my own ass, but I can manage a record. And obviously, after so many platinum records, I'm honestly I manage them pretty fucking good. So,
well, I'll tell you what, man. I never wanted to be an artist manager. Never wanted to do it. It
you just kind of just fell into it.
Well, yeah. Now, I mean, I like my job for the most part, but there's days to where it's like, and this is, I guess, I understand this being an artist first.
Right.
That some of the goals of some bands are just unrealistic. It's like, that's not going to happen. I mean, it's great to have that level of confidence as an artist, I think, but there's also a sense of reality with it too.
Well, do you think that the confidence should come after
No.
we get to a certain point?
I don't think so. I think you need to have confidence the whole
No, but
time.
I'm saying the expectations, like, you know, once you've done so many showcases for so many labels, well, you're expecting to get a record deal. But if you don't have the numbers, and your numbers have to be up, and how do you go about telling the band, hey man, it's funny to me because I have a rapper kid that wants me to, who do you know can help me? Everybody. Well, man, get my stuff and just send it to him. It's like, well, that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
For one thing, it's wasting my time. For another thing, I'm not getting paid to do that. Another thing, I didn't produce the stuff, so I'm not sending shit out to anybody unless I know it's 100% bulletproof. And usually, man, I got to touch it to make sure it's bulletproof. You know? But you because you co-produced the Dark Below stuff, boy, they've done really good at it.
Yeah, they have.
They
have.
I'd say it's one of our bigger accomplishments together.
It's been awesome.
Yep. What number are we on the charts this week?
It peaked out at number 14 on the Billboard indicators, and it actually moved into number 4 on the Foundation secondary markets.
Wow.
But they're on all kinds of other like internet radio stuff still. They're in the top 10 on every single one they're on. I mean, they're just killing it right now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we're just getting started.
Just get started because the
pretty
best
exciting.
songs are yet to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they just got through sending out the one mix. Mm-hmm. Did we ever get that mastered?
Yeah,
We did, didn't we?
They're done.
Don't mean to bore you listeners out there with our business. I really don't. You know, you know what? I really do care about people learning about what's going on, learning about people like you. You're one of the up and coming managers in the business and one of the up and coming producers, I think. But you know, you just have a good, solid company. It seems like
it's been a long time. It was a lot of trial and error. It got to the point too where, you know, in this day and age, if people are going to work for you, they should be compensated the best to your ability as an owner or somebody that's running a company. And for years, I didn't make any money, and I still don't make a shit ton of money. But I found a way to do other work on the side to where I take that money from working for other people and put that into my staff so that I can continue to grow and build those people. Because it is hard to keep somebody engaged when they're doing, because it's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Oh, I know.
I mean, and especially when you got artists on the East Coast and the West Coast, and you get calls super early or you get calls super late, and they're like, "Oh, it's only 7 o'clock, or it's only 9 o'clock here." Well, I'm in bed. Let me get back up and go to my computer, see what I can do. It's sometimes just like taxing.
Right.
But I signed up for it.
Right. Did you have to get people out of jail?
Not yet. I'm sure. Not yet. I'm sure there will come a time when I won't name which artist. I think there's about two or three artists, the actual individual artists on my roster within my bands that I could see getting some phone calls.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's kind of fun.
I guess.
Well, it's not fun at the time. It's just a good story.
Well, yeah, it's a great story.
It's a great story about how Dakota Poorman got thrown in jail for running down the street naked.
That's one of
He
them.
didn't, guys. I'm just saying.
But it's
Sorry, Dakota.
It'll
but
probably
I
happen.
didn't mean to play you out like that, buddy. But I could see Dakota doing that.
I could too.
Yeah, I could see him getting drunk and running down the street naked.
Yep.
That'd be bad.
100%.
Don't do that, buddy. Especially during the daytime. That'd be a horrible sight. No offense, buddy.
Yeah,
You got a cute tater, man, but it's not that cute.
not in the daylight, at least. Keep it in the dark.
Oh shit! We had a good time on his record. We really did making that record.
It's a great record.
Man, I listened to it the other day and went, man, we really did some great work, and I guess Cartage showed up next door. I like saying that word cartage. It's kind of like carnage, but it's cartage.
I don't even know what that means.
Cartage is where they take your gear. Usually they keep your gear somewhere. Like me and Peter Collins and Paul Hager, we always had our gear like in a storage place, cartage, and then they would haul it to studio
Okay.
wherever we were at.
Gotcha.
That was back when rock and roll had budgets and there was real gear involved and there wasn't all these laptops mixing and stuff like that. But there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that things have changed. Yeah, things have changed. No more hot tubs in fucking cartage, You know what I mean? Where you have your hot tub, hauled to the middle of the cutting floor and filled up. And
There you go.
boy, what
We
a
never
line.
did that. That would have been fun.
It is fun.
Man, that's a lot of work, but
It was more for the look because we never had time.
so it just sat
I
there
tried
for the
this. I'm
rest
gonna
of the
produce from the
session.
hot tub thing. It didn't work. It didn't work. Engineering from the hot tub definitely doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have some electricity issues too.
Well, moisture and freaking, cutting floor with the mics and stuff.
yeah, it's probably not good
Yeah,
for wood
studio's
either.
not too big a fan. I don't know why. I don't know why. So what's your expectations or goals for the company in the next 4 to 5 years?
I mean, it'd be nice to have at least a good half of my artists out touring regularly. Well known to where, it gives them an opportunity to do what they're good at. And that's the thing is we have even some of our bands that at the end of the day aren't going to ever be a national band. And I know that. They know that. They're still just really good musicians and they write really good music. So to have a couple of my bands be at that stratosphere, that'd be wonderful. And as you know, in the industry, when you have success in one spot, you see more people gravitate towards that whatever that may be, like St. Louis, back when you were doing a lot of records in our record. A lot of bands in like 5-6 years got signed. Because once you get that first one or two that go, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on over here? It'd be nice to be able to have an artist or two bring that attention to the rest of my artists, because a lot of them deserve it. I mean, all of them deserve it. They all work hard. They all do the best they can. We butt heads all the time, but that's kind of the purpose of us getting to a better place, I think.
Right. Do you find yourself becoming a record label one day?
No.
See, I'm not interested in that anymore either. I did the numbers on it. I don't want to be a T-shirt company. I mean, that sounds terrible, but a T-shirt and live venue company, because that's just not what I do.
Yeah.
I got into this to make LPs, and I don't. It's just a hard one, man. And the poor Tiffany saw me up for freaking 6 months sitting there doing the numbers and some of the best numbers on a record label that you could possibly get. And I'll brag and say that because, I set my mind to something, I get infatuated with it. But then when I understood that, hey, I got to borrow $2-3 million from somebody and I got to
pay a lot of money,
pay
too.
it back one of these days, may end up with me being dead,
Yeah.
because, I'm not going to bullshit my friends, because that's where I get my money from, and tell them that, hey, man, I promise this is going to happen. If somebody wins the lottery and they want to give me a couple million to start a record label, I'll be glad to do it. If you're out there and you got a couple million, send it on.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. It's just, I mean, my favorite part of the company is the digging in with the artists and watching. And that's my biggest thing, too, is the wins. Like, everybody always wants, like we were going earlier, talking about realistic and what can really happen. I try to get my band to focus on the small wins. Because with how many negatives you get as an artist, it can beat you down. It can make you question whether you're good enough, whether you made a bad decision even doing this. So those small victories are always really, really important, I think.
Do you have a lot of that? Do you have a lot of artists call you and go, hey, man, I don't know if I should be doing this at all?
I talk quite a few. There's a lot of my artists that question either why they're not getting to where they are quicker or why the plan isn't always working. And I think the thing I always say is you have to trust the process. If you don't trust the process, if you don't let things play out and we strike at the right time, I mean, it's got to be methodical and strategic. It can't just be like you were saying earlier about an artist. Do you send this to everybody? No, because not only am I not going to send this out to somebody, but I only have so many people that I'm going to send stuff to. And if I start blanketing them with information and music, eventually they're just going to get sick of me. I want to have an actual engagement with those people, so it's got to be done at the right time.
Well, also, too, what I've told a lot of artists when I send stuff out, I mean, it's got to be really quality. And I mean super duper quality. And it's got to be, because when people get something from you and it's then they're going to think everything you send them is shit.
Yeah.
And I've had people talk me into freaking sending stuff out before. Man, I shouldn't have sent to people. And luckily, some of the big ones that I didn't send stuff to, or some of the ones that are good friends of mine just go, hey, man, well, Malcolm got talked into this. This isn't real, Man, that sounded terrible, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
Everything is real if you want it to be. But a lot of the thing is, man, and I want to ask you about this because this is a real interesting topic here. Because I honestly do think we live in a simulation.
I know you do.
And, I know we do. There ain't no doubt about it. That door's not really there. Anyway, I gotta get something to do about that door. But anyway, that's a whole that's a whole different.
That's a whole different show.
That's a whole different thing about me bitching about the door. I can go, man, we need a door. We need some curtain over that door. Whatever. It kind of looks bad, but I don't care. Ain't nobody coming through the damn doors between studios. But people don't know that. People think somebody's going to open that door. What'd be funny is that door come slamming open while you're sitting there, and Bigfoot's going, man, what's up, dude?
He wants to sit in.
They smoke a blunt. No, but I really feel like the music business has gone, backwards in a lot of ways. Is that how you feel?
I would agree. I think as an artist, and especially in the rock side of things, well, I guess I shouldn't say just especially, just in artists in general, there's a lot more that you have to do now to... Everybody wants to say, oh, all these outlets are wonderful and great. And yeah, they might be, but you have so much more competition and traffic now than you ever did before. Mm-hmm. Numbers on Spotify and those things are pretty much the end game. It doesn't even matter if you're a great live artist sometimes, I feel like, anymore, or if you have good songs. Right. It's become to the point to where it's a trend. And music, I feel, has like always been a revolving circle where things come back and go. But it's so in and out. You'll see something for 3 months, a band, and then it's gone again.
Right.
Where I feel like when I came up as a musician, you had a good dozen bands that were putting out a record every couple of years. And it was a constant, just kind of moving forward.
What seemed to me like in the past, it was, as a producer, I'm just saying, we ain't here talking about me, but I'm just saying from my point of view, a lot of the records that I've made in the past 3 years have been better records than I've ever made in my life. Yep. And the fact that they're not huge right now is a bunch of...
Yeah.
The reaction of people when they hear them is, oh my God, well, okay, he doesn't know how to do social media good. He doesn't consistently do stuff. Because that's the point. That was my whole email last night, Jackson. Consistency. Yep. Consistency is what it matters now, and that's at anything you do. Mm-hmm. And even in relationships, it seems like the 15 relationships that I have are close, pretty dang close. Like Denny Sanders and of course my manager Jeff Hansen. Those relationships mean more to me than of course, me and you, we've been friends for freaking years and years and years, and always be, one of my most valuable relationships. But these other people that like, that you meet along in life, or, the ones that are really good people, man, I really try my best to freaking focus on them because there's only so many people you can talk to a day. And it's like, man, it's been lately where I don't want to. I found out a lot of my time was spent, on the phone. Is that how you've been doing lately?
I mean,
you're more on the phone, but you've been traveling a lot, though. haven't you?
yeah, last month alone, I traveled 8,500 miles in September. This is my first travel.
You went to you went to
Seattle.
Yeah, you went to Seattle.
I was down in Fort Myers right before the hurricane hit, visiting another artist. I was in Nashville twice. I was in St. Louis twice. And then I did some personal stuff with the lady and her family. But it was just go, go, go. And I don't mind it. It's cool because I could be sitting in a desk doing work for somebody else from 9 to 5. So I'm not complaining about it at all. I just like to bitch. I mean, you know that.
Bitch and smoke. That's what
Bitch
we
and
do.
smoke is
That's
what we do.
That's what we do, man. Bitch and smoke. So how hard is it to be in the music business in Columbia, Missouri?
It can be tough.
8,500 miles and traveling.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
That means I'm in the wrong spot.
No, it means you're way in the wrong spot.
No, I mean, the nice thing about Columbia is when I initially started this company, it was set up as me just doing local shows and trying to help build the market.
Right.
That was it.
Jackson, can you please look up how many miles it is to the moon? I think that you went all the way to the moon.
Do you think so?
I think so.
I don't know.
Hey,
I'll tell you what, if I went to the moon, I wouldn't come back.
I think it's only 10,000 miles to the moon.
He's looking it up.
Well, we got to get the moon thing.
Get the moon thing.
So, my son Isaac thinks that we've never been to the moon.
Yeah, and do you think that the Earth is flat too, right?
Right.
No. To each his own, I guess.
No, I don't want to laugh at flat earthers.
What's it say? Oh, dude, I wasn't even close.
Wow, that's 293,000 miles. Is that what it said, Jackson?
204, almost 240,000 miles. Yeah, I wasn't even
240. Man, you weren't even close.
I wasn't even close.
No, you got to get back on the road, buddy.
I'm just going straight to the
Maybe
moon.
you can travel that in a year.
Maybe I can set my offices up on the moon and just operate from there
Right.
and be done with it.
Well, since the moon is really underwater, it doesn't really matter.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
I'm going to get a snorkel going in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a snorkel. No, just get a freaking one of those, oxygen tanks like you're underwater, man. Go diving in
Diving
space.
in the moon?
Diving in space. Probably some sea creatures up there, but it's water.
Well,
Did anybody ever think about that one? Mm-hmm. I don't know either. Okay, anyway, that's another question for the flat earthers.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, let's get off of that. I just want to ask your opinion on some things, because we were talking earlier. We talked last night a little bit about some things. Do you think Adolf Hitler lived after the war?
I don't know.
Have you done any research on that?
I haven't, and I should, because I'm German. I mean, my last name's about as German as you get. Schrick.
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 Schrick. Schrick.
I don't know. I mean, there's always those thoughts that, especially when it comes to military high-ranking officials, there's always going to be multiple stories because you don't want the general public to know in a war where somebody's at. That's just it's the same as our president. If there's something catastrophe, like a big catastrophe going on, they're going to tell you somewhere, multiple places he's at when he's probably not even there.
Right.
So,
it seems to me like he went to Argentina. There's a picture of him with a tutu on doing ballet down there.
Really?
No, I'm just joking. But that'd be funny.
It wouldn't be no funny. It could be. That's going to be an image for a bit now.
A tutu.
I'll have to discuss that with my friends when we get back to the St. Louis, Columbia area.
Yeah. Well, we have to bring up the fact that you're a milk drinker.
Oh yeah.
And that we're the only species that drinks off another animal's teat.
Yep. Got to have some nice milk teaties.
Teaties.
The nice milk teaties. Tiny teaties. Oh man.
No, but I gotta say it's pretty sometimes embarrassing when we go to a fancy restaurant. He goes, "Can you get me a glass of milk?" And I look at it. I always look at him like, and it's funny because me and the girls, when we're usually out to eat with the ladies, they always look at me, shake their heads too.
It's just my jam, man. I don't know what it is. You know what? Knock on wood. I've never broken a bone in my life, ever. My hair's fabulous.
That's why you wear a hat all the time.
Well, man, I mean, I could take it off, but the headphones are
You
on
kind
now.
of look like the fresh Prince of Bel Air last night at the house with the flat top.
Oh, the nice little thing
come
going
up way high. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I got my hair all cut up and trimmed up nice.
I was about to. Where I start calling you? Man, you got so many nicknames now, though. It's
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot.
Dr. Lamar Skittles.
Skittles.
I mean,
Dr. Lamar Skit. Spocker 2.
Spocker 2. I'm Spocker 1.
That's a whole different story.
Where's this Spocker?
Spocker. Oh,
Instead
man.
of the shocker.
Yep, instead of the shocker.
We're going to give her the Spocker. So man, me and you, we did this whole thing, kind of get off of music here. We want to talk about conspiracy for a second, because I think the one thing I looked into and was talking to you about that I think is a very, very big thing to talk about is what the St. Louis Arch was actually made for.
Yeah.
And it was Aero Surin was the designer. But that's what's funny. I didn't think that he was credited as the builder, though. What was he?
I don't know.
That's something. Can you see if he was credited as? I know he was credited as the architect, but was he the one to actually be there to build it there, Jackson?
I don't know.
Old sidetrack. He already got sidetracked.
He's already sidetracked.
He's already sidetracked. I think he was the architect, but I don't know if he was. That thing was built in 1963.
Well, I think it started in 63. I think it was completed in 65.
See, so it took him 2 years to do it.
I believe. Oh, yeah, that thing's, what, 636, 638 feet, something like that? Yeah, there he is right there. He's the
That thing
guy.
is freaking huge. 630 feet tall.
Yep.
600 feet
Have
wide.
you ever been to the top of that thing?
No.
It's awesome.
Really?
Like, it's cool. It's a little creepy because the ride up is scarier than actually being at the top, because they got these little elevator cars that like go up and then over and then up, and they hold like 6 people.
They go up and then over.
Yeah, because the arch is, since it's curved up.
I figured they would just curve on around.
No, it goes like up and then over and then up. Now, I haven't been up in probably 10, 15 years. I think when Avery was young, we went.
What's at the top?
Just, I mean, it's just a bunch
Just
of windows. You can feel it move sometimes. I've been up there before where if it's windy, you can feel it shift a little bit on you. And that's the creepy part.
Yeah, that wouldn't be my thing.
But seeing downtown, it's an amazing view. I mean, you look at Illinois, it's all just, the Illinois side is all just everywhere. But then the St. Louis side.
Don't say that.
Well, I mean,
Poor Illinois.
I mean, come on. That part of Illinois is not like.
Have you been to the mounds across there?
No.
Did you know that there's mounds over there that are they're the size of the Inca stuff over
Really?
there? Man, I got to show you that. We got to talk
In
about
Illinois?
That. Yes, 10 miles from downtown.
I've
Over
never
in
heard of
Illinois.
that before.
Dude, it is freaking crazy. Like, I didn't know it was even there. Me and Tiffany saw something on it the other night. Well, it's a couple months ago. And I was like, wow, can you believe that's in Illinois, right across from St. Louis? We've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
That place is enormous, too. Like, the mounds are freaking enormous.
Hold
like
on, is that the Cahokia Mounds?
the size of pyramids, man? They're the size of some of the Inca pyramids in freaking South America.
Is that what it's called, the Cahokia Mounds?
I'm not for sure.
Because that I've heard about, but I don't know if that's Illinois or if that was somewhere else.
Anyway, let's get back to the arch.
Back to the mounds.
So back to the arch. So the arch was designed to control the weather. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think that's true from what you've read?
You know, I have never, ever in my life put that together. But after doing a bunch of reading last night and this morning and seeing some of those Dopplers that I showed you,
Right.
like it legitimately looks like it splits.
It does.
Splits the storm in half.
Right.
And it goes north and south of St. Louis. And I can't really remember, even as a kid going on to baseball games, when we would have rainouts, typically it would be rain.
Right.
If you did see thunder or lightning, it was in a distance. I don't remember, and I'm sure it's happened, but I don't remember there typically being like thunderstorms, like downtown St. Louis,
Right.
as much as just a rain shower.
Yeah, I know. It's so odd. So can we cut to the Doppler radar thing that shows it splitting right now? You don't have it on your phone, though, do you, Jackson?
Yeah, I sent it to him.
Okay, we'll
got it.
we'll airdrop it to the big boy and let's blow it up there. I'm gonna blow this up. I'm blow this up. No, I'm really just trying to wrap my head around it because when I first heard about this, I really was intrigued because of how far the arch goes down into the ground.
Yep.
How many feet? 60 feet.
I think it was 50 or 60 feet, and they've got those giant, like I think they're concrete or like concrete blocks that
Right.
it's set on bases on. But for the fact that, for the ability to see that, when I saw that Doppler thing, that's what blew my mind.
So this is what they say. Now I want to know if this is true or not. Can you put a battery on one side of the arch and then a light on the other side of the arch and freaking it light up?
I mean, it'd be a good thing to try out. If they'd let us, maybe we should make some calls down to the mayor of St. Louis and see if we can go do some tests.
Because that would be absolutely incredible.
That would be
if that's-
cool.
if that's true. They say you can do that. Have you heard that?
I have heard a little bit about that, yes, but again, I think
You can put a battery on one side, and you can put a light bulb on the other, and it light up. To me, that is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think. What about tornadoes and stuff like that? We had many tornadoes downtown.
I mean, St. Louis tornadoes, I think before the arch, I think there was 8 major ones that touched down. I think the last one was in 2011, but it was at Lambert Airport. So it was past the city. Now, I don't know where it touched down. I know it touched down for like 21 miles or something. And it was, I don't know the ratings. I think they're like called EFs now. I think it was an EF4.
Jesus, that's a huge tornado. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they go up. Again, they've changed them, I think, in the beginning of the 2000s. It used to be different ratings. But I think that's the last legit tornado that touched down and did damage. But again, that's past the arch.
Right.
I mean,
But there's not been one come downtown.
not that I remember.
I think I read that there was
Not in my
some
lifetime.
there was one that went down there in '53 that went through downtown. But it didn't go down. It went toward downtown, and it was right on St. Louis County, and it killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then that's when they started designing the freaking arch.
Well, and you know what? Speaking of that, we were talking about this earlier. It was about a month ago in St. Charles, which is across the Missouri River.
Right.
There was that massive storm that flooded all of Highway 70. There was water up to car windows. But where did all that go when it got down to St. Louis?
I know it's like it never.
That's just weird. I mean, that is really. I mean, I know storms dissipate and they eventually break down and all that, but it's only 25 minutes from St. Charles to downtown St. Louis.
To me, it's not even that far, is it?
It's about 25 minutes to get down there.
It seems to me like when me and Tiffany go to St. Louis and we're downtown or in St. Charles, it takes us like 10 minutes and we're downtown. It seems like to me.
Yeah.
I guess you got to go past
It's about 10
St.
minutes to the
Charles Rock
airport.
Road. Once I get past St. Charles Rock Road, I feel like I'm in
Yeah,
St. Louis.
you're
you know?
close.
Joe Rock used to live out there.
Oh yeah, good old Scott.
Where is he at now?
He's out.
in
He's
St. Charles?
guitar teching. You're talking about MDZ Rock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's guitar teching for everybody under the sun. I think he just got back out with Daughtry. He's doing some good stuff for himself, man. I don't really see that guy. And every once in a while, I'll see him when I'm in. It's been probably a couple of years since I've seen him last.
Right.
I think it was at the Diamond Show actually.
Yeah, we
with
saw
you
it.
when you were in
Yeah.
town with Dark Below played. I think.
Yep. That's right. That's
Yep,
right.
that's
That's
the
right.
last time we saw him.
That was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yep, and I think Will Pelly was there. I think did Mad Dog come out for that show, Scott?
I think Mad Dog was there. Mad Dog Gherkin.
Mad Dog Gherkin.
Mad Dog Gherkin.
But it is weird, and now on my mind's thinking, well, shit, how does that work? I mean, to where you're going to get that kind of a storm that close to a major metropolitan, and then it just didn't do anything down there.
So have you read? Because I read something where they said they could turn on a switch,
They said it's like a light switch.
a light switch, and then the thing creates this electronic current.
Yep.
And the dang thing is freaking huge. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
big.
it is freaking enormous.
And it's all metal.
When you come in from the Illinois side, you realize how big that arch is.
Yep, you do.
It's freaking enormous.
Well, because it's set against the rest of the city. It's like that's right in front of the whole skyline. And you're like, damn, that thing's tall.
I just think it's funny because everybody used to say it was a gateway to the
west.
To the west. But now we find out that it's not. It is something to control the weather, and it obviously does a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, and there was even an article that I was reading earlier today where there's, I guess, one of the guys that was part of the architectural team on the Aero. I'm not going to say his first name, but
Aero.
he's the one that really said that it was, nobody was supposed to know about it. It was supposed to be kept under wraps.
Exactly.
I mean, I've even seen some stuff about where they said that they were using it. They were going to try to control the same people that did the doomsday thing.
Right.
Were also looking to control the weather. Now, of course, there's plenty of things that can discredit that theory. But there's a lot of stories just in the last 24 hours I've looked into that I'm like, man, that's...
What's interesting is the year 63 was when the Vietnam War kicked off, right? So they had all this stuff, trying to control the weather in Vietnam, and that's what they did. They freaking made it rain and made it rain and made it rain and made it rain, made it rain.
You watch Forrest Gump, and I'll tell you that.
Well, and it rained and rained. And
there was even stinging rain.
It was even sideways
There was
rain.
rain that came up from underneath.
It shot me in the buttocks.
Oh, man.
No, but it makes sense because the Aaron guy that's Aero Soren guy. What a weird name. I wonder what country he was from.
I don't know.
Sounds to me like a made up freaking name to me. But anyway, he worked for the CIA, is from what I understand.
See, I read that too, that it was somewhat CIA based.
This was the beginning of the HARP project, which is another thing that blows my mind because people don't know about HARP up in Alaska. Now they got them in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And if you don't think that HARP, man, I don't have any factual things on it. I just know, I figure that the HARP thing when it went up was around Katrina, and that's what really caused Katrina to happen. But maybe I want to get somebody on here that knows about that shit.
The situation.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of conspiracy theories, but now the United States did put out that we caused that freaking earthquake in Japan years ago, when it really, the whole thing, how it's still dumping chemical or not nuclear waste into.
Yep.
I wonder how true that is, and I wonder how much that media shit, and I wonder if we're going to have a real Godzilla because of it.
Man, I would be out of here. I would be going to the moon because that thing's going to eat up everything.
I don't know, man. Godzilla might be cool, man. What if he's like a cool dude, like going, man, what's up, dude?
He could well be, but I'm not sticking around to find out.
I'm just saying, a big old lizard like that can think for it, that has high intelligence. You never know.
Might be pissed off at all the people that keep lizards in their house and come get them.
He may kill people with iguanas.
Yeah, exactly. He might put us all in cages.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No, not at all.
Well, I think I don't know if he has the hands to do that, but he could actually herd us up into a spot.
Yeah,
Breathe
he's
fire.
Godzilla.
Godzilla. So St. Louis, that's where you grew up, wasn't it?
Yep, that's home. I'll always be home.
Where in St. Louis did you grow up?
Hazelwood.
Oh, that's right.
Hazelwood, North County, North Kiln.
That's right. You played baseball for those guys.
Yep. I still to this day love St. Louis. A lot of it's because of the sports. A lot of it's, when you're born in St. Louis, you come out wearing a Cardinals jersey. So whether you like, you just do. It's cool because it's something like with the sports thing. It's like a family thing. Like you grow up watching games with your family together. You grow up doing this. Remember we'd go down to Busch Stadium back in the old Busch Stadium or the one before this recent one, and you get bleacher tickets for $5. You sit on the benches as kids. Man, it's just a special place to me. Like very special place to me. That's the one spot I can just forget about everything because I'm just so focused on that game, what's going on, yelling and screaming and managing from the seats. I'm available, by the way, guys. Available to manage. If you hear this.
So do you consider Missouri a baseball state?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
It used to be a football state, and then here goes the Rams. They went and moved.
Well, even the St. Louis Cardinals. My mom used to work for them. She worked for Bill Bidwell back in the day, and was one of the people that wrote checks back before I was born. And they left too. So
I know. What is up with that?
I think it's because it's such an integrated baseball town, and there's so much history with that team that it's hard to have. I guess though the Blues do well there. Especially hockey. With I'll tell you this, and this isn't to discredit anybody's Blues fan, but I've always felt like Blues fans are kind of, they're in it or they're out of it. if they have a bad season, where I'll get pissed at the Cardinals, but if they're losing, I'm still going to watch every damn game because
Right.
it's the Cardinals.
And you get to smoke and bitch.
And yeah, my favorite thing. So, yep, my favorite thing.
So if the arch is a weather controlling mechanism, that means that's one of the biggest proven conspiracy theories of all time.
Well, I wonder then too if there's literally, when they have storms come through, is there somebody manning a switchboard that says, "This one's coming through. We got to push this out. We can't have this come near the metro area." I mean,
who funded the arch being built? Do you
I don't know.
Can you look that up, Jackson?
I mean,
Who
wasn't
did
it
it?
initially like a gift from the French? Isn't that? I think that's the basis of it.
Oh, no way!
I think so. I think me and old Jackson Sidetrack were talking about that earlier.
The French.
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
But then again, I didn't know anything about this weather stuff until 24 hours ago, so I could very well be wrong.
I just thought it was an interesting thing because it's so close to home, and it's like I don't know if William Shatner is from St. Louis or not.
I think he actually is, or I think he's from Missouri.
I think that's why he did a thing on it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what been. I heard that years ago that thing was something else other than what they say it was, which the gateway to the West is like, New Madrid would have been that, but the New Madrid earthquake, and I am looking for, what the hell was that?
Sounds like a train just rolled through.
I am looking for someone who specializes in. What's that, Red Dawn out there or something?
I don't know. Plane's about to land on the studio.
Here comes the freaking Russians.
Should've
We
talked-
knew it was going to
We should
happen.
have talked about the arch.
We shouldn't have talked about the arch. Them some bitches, it's a beacon. It's a beacon.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I got off track. Jeez. I had my coffee this morning, man, but I usually have one of those teas, but I'm tired of paying $12 for a tea.
That's expensive for a tea.
Well, I want to do a deal with them, so I just set the tea on the table here every single episode so they can get some, some
Notoriety.
yeah, man, and we could do a deal.
Free publicity, baby.
I think we need to do a deal.
I think you should. What's it called? The Bubble Guppies tea?
We got shrimp tea. We got steak tea.
We got Bubble Guppy tea.
We got bubble gumper tea. Jeez.
Oh, man.
So let me ask you something about one more thing about this arch thing. So you've been down there, you've been up in it, right?
Yeah.
You feel it swaying.
A little bit. And it's not every time, but sometimes, yeah.
Do you think that when the New Madrid fault hits, do you think it's going to still be standing?
Where does that fault line? How far is it? Does it run up through St. Louis? Do you know?
It runs up there real close. I don't know if it runs through downtown. That's another thing we can look up.
Yeah.
Did you find out who funded the St. Louis Arch?
Oh, well, it's funded by
Really?
the city.
Okay, so that means there's a cover up.
Well, I mean,
How many millions of dollars are spent on it?
oh,
Back in the day,
In the
the
60s.
63, so that was probably worth about $500 million a day.
yeah. Wow. I mean, it's just like I said, with all this information I just read, and it definitely makes me think. It made me think about the times I'm in St. Louis, and typically it's just rain.
Well, they say it's earthquake proof, but
Yeah, I read that too. I don't know though, man. See, and I always think about this when we used to go to the Science Center. They had that thing to where you could build up. They had those like blocks that you had to build your own little arch in there.
right.
And if you did one thing wrong, that whole damn thing came down. So for me, it's kind of hard to believe that if something from below level, underground, moved that much and shifted, that thing wouldn't come down.
How big is it up there? Can you stand up?
You can, I mean, if I remember correctly, I'm 6 foot, right around there, and I could stand up for the most part, but it's a tight spot. Typically, there's only about maybe 40, 50 people they let up there. And like I said, the ride up is
That's a lot of people, though.
yeah. And I could be a little bit wrong on the numbers, leaning one way or the other. But
And do you get in at the base or do you get in underground?
you get in like underground. It's you go actually in. Well, I guess it's either underground or right at level. But you just get these little cars and they just go up and over and up, and it's, man, I'll tell you what, it's weird. Not to mention if somebody's got some BO in that thing, boy.
It's tight quarters.
It's tight quarters. I think you could only fit. Back when I went up, I think it was 6 to 8 people in each car. That was it. I mean, it was smaller than an elevator.
One of them things broke, you're stuck up there.
Yeah, and that's what scared me the most, is if I'm stuck halfway up the arch, how the hell will they even get to me? I'm sure they got stairs and stuff on the inside.
Well, they'd have to call a crane company. It'd be a few days.
Yeah, see,
They'd have to
by
rent
that
a crane.
point, everybody in that place has been eating.
Oh, no, man. Everybody done shit their pants and pissed
It's
everywhere.
It's horrible in that place. The corner has now become the entire floor.
Oh, man.
There's no pee corner anymore. It's just pee wherever you want
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah.
So see, next time I go up there, I'm going to get stuck in the damn thing. I can see it now.
Yep.
Just because of this conversation.
You're
I'm
stuck.
screwed.
You're stuck. Well, let me tell you something that's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to get stuck in it.
Because you're not going
I'm
up.
not going up there. I'm sorry. Hey, now I went to the top of the World Trade Centers. I did, and it was magnificent when I saw that. But that's a big ass building. I felt it swaying. It freaked me out.
You got down.
Man, you know, it was even the Empire State Building looked little from there. And the only thing I could think of is I'm in the clouds. And this is cool, but not cool.
Yeah.
You know, and the elevator ride up, I remember, was a long elevator ride up. Yeah. And, you know, they had ones that went straight to the top, you know, that didn't stop anywhere else. Which scared me too, because that means there's no outlet. That's kind of like the arch thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a shaft, but it's so freaking
Small, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. But I remember I was young when I went up there, and I remember like I said, I mean, the Empire State Building was fucking.
See, I've never been up in
small.
that. The other place I'd like to go is the Statue of Liberty. I've never been. Well, I've never been in New York though. So
the Statue of Liberty brings me to something that I have to ask you about. Do you believe in the Mandela effect?
a bit. I'm not as versed on it probably enough to have a say so one way or the other. But
Well, the Statue of Liberty changed places. It changed islands.
I've heard that before. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, it was on Liberty Island, and then it switched to oh dang it, what was it? What's the island? So you can look up the island that Statue of Liberty's on now. Easter Island. God Almighty, man. Was it? I had an alarm go off. Oh yeah, we're not doing that meeting right now. Oh yeah, I got to call Peter Keys at noon. Peter Keys from Skinner. You know, he's trying to get him on here.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Anyway, what was we talking about?
Talking about the Statue of Liberty.
Yes. What island is that thing on? I think it's Ellis Island.
And you said, where was it previous? Where
it was on Liberty Island, where you think it would be.
Yeah.
But Ellis Island is like where the Irish immigrants and stuff like that came in. Okay. And has a lot of history behind it that has nothing to do with the Statue of Liberty being on it. But that's what's, we won't get off into the Mandela effect. I'm gonna do that with another one with Jason Knoll from Saving Abel this week on that. I think we're gonna do one Thursday. I think.
Very cool.
And stuff, but anyway, I think we've had a good podcast, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, buddy.
Man, you're welcome. And I think everybody's really interested, and we're gonna go ahead and I think this would be released on Tech Tuesday because of because of you being a manager and producer and stuff. And so, one more question.
Shoot.
Now, do you think that when we colonize Mars, there will be?
I'm listening.
will your company have a place on Mars?
Oh yeah, dude. I need to get a front seat for that one. That way we can get up there before everybody else that talk shit all the time and doesn't do anything.
Right.
We do what we say we're going to do.
Do you feel like in 20 years Mars is going to be open another market for us to supply music to?
It would be pretty badass if it would. And maybe we can leave some of the BS that's going on down here, not up there.
How about just leave the shitty artists down here?
That's fine. That's fine
all
too.
Go. But you don't smoke menthols.
No, I'm not a menthol guy.
You're good to go.
So I can't be my lungs won't
You
crystallize.
cannot go in outer space if you smoke menthol cigarettes.
I did not know that till you told me that.
So you humans out there that think you can go in space like us aliens, you can't. If you smoke menthol, you're done.
Tell you what, man, I better be some weird, stinky stuff. Being a different planet, different soil. You might not come back down from that high.
It'd be some stanky danky,
You
wouldn't
might
it?
not come back down from that high. You might just be up there forever.
Man, I don't smoke that shit, but I bet it would smell really good.
I bet it would too.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
I love
Appreciate
you,
it, my man. Love you too.
You got a great time.